So what's going on? Why don't you tell me? It seems like a mystery. Is it a mystery? Or am I just being lame again? Something's definitely different. Something's a bit off, isn't it? Maybe it's the lighting. I mean, same water cup, right? Okay, well, hopefully everything's working. All the meters are doing the meter things, and it seems like everything's working okay. The levels are bouncing, which is a diagnostic for it's working. But yeah, I'm here. You're here. And this is the internet, by the way, where sometimes somebody just says something, mysterious or whatever, and they're being elusive about something being different and stuff like that. But then you find out, no, it's just something lame. It's just it's just whatever. It's just it's just it's just some middle-aged guy being weird, right? I mean, that's ultimately what the internet's mostly about, right? Or maybe it's about mystery. Maybe the internet is just mystery. Maybe that's why we keep going back on the internet, because it's just always a mystery, right? We're always thinking, I'll find something new today. And then a Star Trek sound goes off, because that's what my phone messages are set for. But yeah, that's what the internet is. The internet's kind of a mystery. Go on there and you're like, well, what am I going to find this time? Okay, I'll stop being dumb. I'll stop being weird. I'll stop being whatever I'm being. I'll stop that. And I'll just get on with it. Okay? A while back, I said that I wanted to set things up so that I could do crafting streams. Those of you that know me may know that it happens sometimes that I craft things, that I make things. A maker, a crafter. Sometimes I do carpentry things. Most times I'm doing prop replicas of sci-fi weapons and armor, or fantasy weapons and armor, antique weapons and armor. Sometimes I'm doing scale models. Sometimes I gotta do a scale model. Sometimes it's World War II, probably a tank model because I'm a tank freak, or a Star Trek ship. But I thought, if I'm gonna do a crafting stream, if I'm gonna do crafty stuff, I'm gonna stream it. Well, why don't I do something that I've always wanted to do that is kind of a now thing that's kind of fun, and a lot of people are really into it, and maybe connected to something going back to my childhood. You see, my childhood was the early days of cartoons, and the topic of tonight's crafting is actually very specifically something that its origins came from, something that I very much loved. I couldn't wait to catch the episode every day that I could when I was a kid. And it was a little show called Robotech. And Robotech had jets that turned into these giant fighting robots. And it opened the world up for a whole bunch of stuff, for a whole bunch of cool giant robot suits, smashing a lot of things, and people really liked it. Without an electrical tape strip, well, I could put it on, but it just wouldn't fit tonight. Tonight it would just not be, well, what this is. So anyway, my story. Robotech kind of introduced the world to, holy shit, giant robots that turn into things or blow things up in repetition, and save people and fighting and blah blah blah. And so I thought for my first crafting bit, my first crafting stream, I thought I'd start doing something I wanted to do for a long time. But I can't just do that thing. It also has to be uniquely me. I have to do something to make it, I gotta do something to make it my own flavor, my own something, my own creativity. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about it, off and on. I've been really impressed with what this particular company's been doing. And I'm especially impressed that they don't charge outrageous prices for their kits and their stuff. And so I decided, and man, I sure hope this is set up as well as it looked when I finished setting it up earlier tonight. But I'll just stop messing around with it. I'll stop being a ridiculous tease. We'll just flop over to the desktop so you can see what the hell I'm going to be starting on tonight. And again, it's not about just building it. It's not about just making it. When it's done being constructed, I'm going to put my own spin on it. I'm going to put my own flavor to it. I've got something planned that I think will make it look really cool. All right, let me flop over to the other screen. Enough of this messing around. Holy shit, what? What the hell, Com? What the flying flippity flack fuck? So this is this model is the Gundam Aerial. It's HG quality, and I got it on sale off of Amazon, and it wasn't very expensive at all. It wasn't, definitely did not break the bank. But I recently watched a video where somebody visited the stores in Japan where a lot of really big stores for Gundam have been opened up, and he explained that there's like a pricing agreement with these guys where they are only going to raise prices when they absolutely need to. And unfortunately, recent global climate did make it go up a bit, but this didn't cost nearly as much as most model kits. I'm used to building stuff like the Tiger 1 over here, or one of the German prototype World War II tanks that almost was, and those model kits go anywhere from $45 to $105 to even up to like $125, and so I can't do those very often because they're just too expensive. Like I said, as a kid, I was madly in love with Robotech, and just, that fueled my love of, like so many people, my love for giant robots, people and giant robots, robots turning into things, robots shooting things, robots exploding things. And I decided to go ahead and start tonight. I know it's not one of my usual stream nights, but I lost Sunday last week because I had to be up at 5:30 in the morning for Gen Con. And so I was like, you know what? I have it ready. I have it set up. I got, I barely was able to budget for the gear to start this in the crafting room, and it was a lot easier to set up than I thought it was going to be. Most of it was trying to convince Streamlabs OBS what I wanted to have for a new setting without destroying my last one. So I haven't even opened the box yet. I wanted to save it for stream. Now normally I would have to open the box and I would have to pull all of the sprues out and put them in soapy water and wash them off, rinse them off, because there's manufacturing chemicals and residue on the plastic, and normally you have to wash all that off and then let it dry. But I have it on perfectly good authority from a woman who builds and paints these things for a living and has for many years, that with the Bandai Namco kits you don't have to worry about that. They're that good of quality. She says she never washes her sprues before starting model, so I'm not going to. We're just gonna poop it open. We're gonna poop it open. Get one of my many crafting X-Acto knives. And pardon me, I'm a little sniffly. The world is trying to attack me with allergies again, and I'm resisting. Brimstone, here, take that. Brimstone loves to play with raptors. He's absolutely crazy about it. Anything crinkly, yeah, you can hear him already. Anything crinkly, he's all about it. You guys let me know if the music is too loud or not loud enough. Just let me know. Somebody tell me. I'm attempting to use the microphone that is in the new streaming camera for this room, and the levels checked out okay, so hopefully it's good. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, for those of you, anybody that's interested in starting Gunpla, as it's referred to, Gundam building via the Gunpla platform, you can get into a high quality kit for, I mean, if you find the right sale like I did, for like as low as $12 to $13. It's very inexpensive. Oh, you're not hearing the music. Okay. Well, let me just turn it the fuck up then. How about that? Okay, the song ended, so that helped. How about now? Are you hearing music now? Okay. No, this is allegedly some Japanese lo-fi. I thought it was good for the setting. If it's too quiet or too loud, whatever, just let me know, okay? Alright. So, ba-da-ba-ba. Lovely instructions. There's plenty to do. There's some of the pieces that we can't put on because of the little twist that I'm going to be putting on stuff. and I'm going to save that as sort of a little surprise for the end. And it probably won't be on this stream anyway. We may, possibly, maybe, in theory, get the Gundam built on this stream. Maybe, maybe not. Still getting used to the bifocals on my new glasses, etc. But I thought this would, as a start to my crafting expedition into streaming crafting, I thought this would be a nice way to get started. It's Gunpla is very, very well liked, and I've been wanting to do it for quite a long time, and it's very affordable. That's something that's very attractive about it. I'm not gonna lie. Which is a saying that I hate, and I can't even believe that I just said it. That's horrible, isn't it? That's bad. All right, let's finding stuff. Okay, I gotta get used to using my bifocals, so I need to stop looking over the top of my glasses. Well, I can see one of the first things we need to do is get rid of all the fucking plastic. More plastic. First, get it. Ta-da! Okay, so we have A6. Okay, stop looking over the top of glasses. A6. Good, good. One thing that people are going to get annoyed with pretty quickly with me is that I don't buy the snippers. I don't buy the snippers for the little tweezer type snippers. I've tried them, and I'm still able to cut closer with X-Acto blade. I have been using X-Acto blade for so fucking long that I really just prefer the X-Acto blade. Period. A29. What now? What now? What now? A29. A29. Now, the Gundam kits from Bandai Namco are designed for you to not have to paint them. So you can have, when you're done building, you can throw the decals on, and you can just have a fully assembled, cool looking, already in color, looking like it does on the shows, Gundam model to enjoy. And the other cool thing about Gundam models is that they're fully posable. Some genius engineers that they have making stuff, they figured out how to make these things look cool like they do on the show, and still be completely posable. Which tells you a little something about the engineering going into the mobile suits on the anime. Pretty clever. If anybody is wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm getting rid of what's called flash, but they're also just called manufacturing lines. So they're lines that are there from being vacuum formed into plastic pieces. The manufacturing lines, a lot of people don't even bother with this. but as you're gonna find out, I am... everything has to be good enough. Everything has to be just right. And so you're gonna see me do this with almost every piece. And there's a reason, because we are not... I am not leaving these Gundam the same color as they are on the show. That's where my own artistic side will be coming out. They are not going to end their build and painting looking like the Gundam you see in the shows. And let me change my stream description real quick, and then I'll check chat and make sure that I'm not ignoring anything. Give me a sec. Yep. Okay. Next, B2. Unfortunately, the way I set up my crafting area, it's a bar stool height type setup. Where's B2? B2, 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 B... What? Oh, right there. And so I'm sitting on a mechanic's workbench stool type thing, and it does tend to kill my back after a while, but we're just going to cope. We're going to cope until we come up with a better location slash system slash something. Which one is this? 36. 36, stop looking at your glasses. 36. And again, some people are going to get annoyed with me for not using clippers, for using a the X-Acto knife to get my parts off of the sprues. But I promise you, over the years, I promise, having built models since I was 11, I'm very good with an X-Acto knife, and I get very close. In fact, sometimes you can't even tell that it was cut off of a sprue because of how close I'm able to cut with the X-Acto knife. Okay. Alright, cool. Parts, things. Okay, now we need to... This goes with here. These are so cool. They're so much more intricate than people might think they are. Okay, so this goes right on here. They also designed the Gundam the model to be assembled without glue, which also takes a lot of precision in not just the design, but in the vacuform process, the plastic processing. Because if it comes loose at all, it's not good enough for me, and I start gluing things. And this goes right in here. Okay, and they're not coming apart easy, and part of me wants to not glue anything until I get to my end process, which is going to be changing the entire color of the whole model, because I may want to disassemble part of it in order to get things painted correctly. Okay, next. And even if I do, in when I start doing the painting part of it, even when I do, if I accidentally paint over something, it's not like Endgame or anything. I could just repaint it the color that it needs to be. So it doesn't really matter. But nonetheless, there may be some things that I want to do differently so that I can keep some of the colors. And there may be camera things or sound things that pop up along the way. This is my first night streaming from the new setup. So, pardon any things that seem wrong or not good enough for whoever's standards. But so far the camera is showing enough detail and showing enough of what's going on so that you can see part of what I'm doing. And yes, I am this much of a perfectionist that I have to get every tiny bit of flash off. And you'll also see me take 500 to 1000 grit sandpaper on some of the bigger surfaces that are going to be meeting with paint. And I will be sanding sometimes. You guys let me know if you want the music up higher, if it's too high, whatever the case may be. Come on, spine, work with me. Okay, so there's that. And now I need C24. My god, was that the only part on the entire sprue? What the hell, man? C24. Repeating. C24. C24? If you are someone who wants to try using an X-Acto knife to remove things from a sprue like I'm doing, just remember to support the piece while you're cutting it from the sprue, because sometimes it doesn't cut, it just presses. And stop looking over the top of your glasses. And force on tiny pieces can really cause a problem. So, if you decide to go the route of using an X-Acto knife like I do to remove things from sprues, remember to support your pieces. And you're going to sometimes see me handling an X-Acto knife in a way that would make you worry. We're talking about a good over 40 years of using X-Acto knives. I actually recommend to people to not use an X-Acto knife as much as I do. In the removal of sprues especially, they make very well designed, very inexpensive snippers. They're just little handheld snippers that almost look like tiny scissors, that do a good job of removing the parts from the sprues without having a lot of flash left over. That's how I recommend everybody starts. Start that way, and then when you get really, really, really good with X-Acto knives, and you feel comfortable that you can do it without cutting yourself, or making a mess of your parts, then fine. But I'm always gonna recommend the safer option for anybody that's starting out, that's doing anything from building models to prop making to miniature making to carpentry. I have actually, I think in all these years I may have cut myself with an X-Acto knife on accident maybe 2 or 3 times. Oddly, the one time when I did cut myself with a knife or something, it was doing something. I usually don't cut myself with bladed objects. I just don't. But the times that I did cut myself and there was an accident, it was something completely absurd, like cutting up a cardboard box into pieces to put those pieces into a outdoor fire pit or something ridiculous, and then cutting, going through the cardboard unexpectedly and cutting into a part of my leg. And even that's so rare for me to even do something like that. But hey, the whole point of what I'm saying is start with the safe things. They make things that are safe for you to start learning to do stuff like this. You don't have to do it like I do it. And I actually don't recommend it for starting. I felt like I just say that little bit about safety. Safety's kind of important. Alright, it wants this to go here. And so it does. I'm so impressed already with how perfectly all the pieces go together. Again, I'm somebody who has paid upwards of $100 for a complex tank model. And even in those models I don't see, and those are high quality, right? Even in those I don't see this kind of organization, this kind of perfection in the fit. Reputation's well earned. Okay, now this is supposed to go up in here. Is that correct? Yeah, there we go. So you can see we're building the head. Yeah, and we are building the head, okay? Now this is a part where it says to choose a sticker and put it on the model. And I am going to bypass that. I'm not putting stickers on yet. Even if it's going to inconvenience me later, I'm not going to do that yet. I will deal with the inconvenience of placing them later when the model is built, because I don't want to paint over stickers. And if I do end up getting paint in a place, or I can't get the sticker in there, again, it's no big deal. If you're doing a complete paint over when the model is finished, you can just paint those colors in by hand anyway, and it may look better than a sticker. In fact, when I look at the stickers, if the stickers don't impress me very much, then I'm not going to do stickers. I'll hand paint in the effects. There are a couple of stickers that look really cool, though, that I want to use if possible. But anyway, so we have the back and inside of the head built. And it looks like their flow is a little bit different, of course, a little bit of Japanese psychology here. That's okay, I like it. So let's get B233, cut off B2. B2, okay. B233. This one I'm going to be careful because, again, you're watching me cut these parts off with a X-Acto razor. You'll see I'm putting my finger to one side here while cutting the part from the sprue. And you want to try to push it down to the tabletop if you can without breaking anything, and do the cut straight as you possibly can. And this is one where I'm going to have to do a little sanding and a little bit of removal of flash. This one's going to be a little bit tough to get down, touching the... You'll see how the sprues work. there's a top and a bottom naturally, and so sometimes you have to push the part down a little bit to make contact with your mat, or I just cut on my instructions. I don't care. And then once it's met the ground, you've got enough backing strength to just cut right through. And you can see I have very little flash work to do here. I'm seeing a lot of shiny plastic, however. This is where most people would use a small bit of sandpaper, but again, over the years, I've learned to just be really good and really careful with a X-Acto knife. And there's two ways you can do it. This is the way of slide and cut. You can also take the blade and use it as a scraping type of sanding action, like that. Just going to find all the flash, cut all the flash off. And by the way, this razor in this X-Acto knife, I think this razor is about, it's one of the titanium edge ones. I think this one's almost a year old now. And here in a second I'll show you how I can continue to use the same blade for as long as I do without having to buy another one. Also, until you're very good with X-Acto blades and X-Acto knives, do not cut towards your fingers. But you'll see the way I'm holding it. This is just the way that I do it. And I'm not doing anything that will cause me to cut into my finger. This is how I do things. I don't want you to do things this way. Use clippers and use sanders. And you can get very inexpensive sanding utensils. You may ask yourself, Comm, why is your sanding stick pink? And the answer is this. If pink is 80% off, pink it is. Okay, so you can also, it's a bit tricky, but you can use a nail sanding file like this to not just sand the flash off, but if you're doing what I'm doing and you're going to paint the whole model later, you can use it to get some of that shiny off. We don't like painting on shiny. Painting on shiny can kind of suck. You want a nice adhesive surface to paint on. And since this is the face and it gets looked at a lot, we're just going to be extra careful. And sometimes I will feel like even this is a bit too, like this could destroy some of the detail of this front armor of the head. So I will switch to, I believe this is 1000 grit sandpaper. You can actually almost polish paint jobs with this, and you can polish even protective coatings like gloss protective coatings. It's that fine of sandpaper. I have it glued down to, with an adhesive spray, I have it glued to an EVA foam sanding pad. I make my own sanding pads so I don't have to buy them. And they end up being the right size for me anyway. And they get the job done. And I'm just going to use it to try to get some of this shiny stuff sanded down just a little bit. I might have to switch to a more coarse sandpaper. But I want to get a fair amount of the shininess off of the surface if I can. And if 1000 isn't doing it and it's actually just making it more shiny, then I'll switch to something like a 500 grit, or or even down to like a 280 or a 300 grit. I even have various types of sandpaper glued down to wooden blocks so that I can take the piece and put it, well, I'll just show you here. I got one. Well, here's a smaller one. You can buy these for a handful of bucks, but I could take the piece and I could actually rub the piece on the sandpaper or on the block instead of taking sandpaper in one hand and going over the model. Sometimes that works out better if you're needing to support pieces. Okay. Just gonna get a little bit more of the shiny off if I can, and hopefully it's not just making it more shiny because it's 1000 grit. But sometimes I find with plastics, the erosive nature of the sanding will actually not polish it. It will actually grind it down to an adhesive. Yeah, Elof, do as I say, not as I do, huh? If somebody accumulates 40 years of working with X-Acto knives, then I'll say you can do as I do. But I don't want to have any new people doing things the way that I do until they're very experienced. Get a little practice with something first. Okay. I think I have messed with this headpiece enough. Once it's assembled, if it still looks a little too shiny to me, then I can always go back and do sanding with fine instruments later as well. Alright, so it wants us to put the face armor over our back half of the head construct. So here we go. Let me make sure I'm lining up correctly. And there it is. There we go, and it snaps right in. That is so impressive. They've even designed it so that the lines in between the pieces, a lot of them are the way that the model actually looks in the anime series. So the lines are naturally, they've placed them so that they're a naturally occurring item. That's really cool, man. These are great models. Oh, my spine. Okay. So that's the primary head assembly done. Now, what I want to know is, yeah, so that is natural. You can see a big line going over the top, but it's supposed to be there. The back part is supposed to be slightly smaller. Yeah. So I don't have to bother with sanding this down to make it all even, because this is the way that it's supposed to be. This is a very clever design. Very impressive. Okay, A28. I hope everybody's having a good and relaxing night going into morning. Well, for me, it's going to be into the morning hours soon. A28. Here we are. This one looks like maybe I need to turn the sprue upside down so I can get the piece touching the... And, oh, this is a good time for me to show you something you need to do regularly if you're going to use an X-Acto for everything, especially if you're doing stuff like prop making and things like that. Too many people get impatient and they don't stop and just sharpen the razor. With a decent grain of sharpening block, you can sharpen the same X-Acto blade and use it for a year if you're good about it and you're diligent about it. It doesn't take much. and then it's right back to the sharpness that it should be. Okay, where was I? About to cut something. Okay. Let me make sure I'm getting right where I need to be so I don't cut the piece. There, and there. Unfortunately, I don't have too much longer before my back starts getting to where my hands are no longer steady, and that's part of my struggle. It's part of why I don't do custom orders anymore, unless it's friends, because projects can take me a very, very, very long time to finish, because I usually only have about 2 hours of stamina for my spine and my nervous system, and then my hands get to a point where I know there's certain things I shouldn't be doing because I'll mess them up. Not long after I got diagnosed with all of my various health things, I had to start changing my daily routine. Like, I couldn't do dishes or handle dishes on many of my mornings in the first hour or two after waking up, because that led to broken dishes. That led to fumbling and breaking stuff. And hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much by showing a bunch of shaking as things go along. It happens sometimes. People say, "What, Did you have too much coffee?" Coffee actually doesn't affect me too much anymore. Coffee is just more of a pleasure item. I very rarely get any kind of a energy kick out of coffee, and I don't drink enough of it to get a real kick anyway. B226. 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 Here it is. And this is a good example of what I was talking about. If you cut with a razor, which again, as a new person, you shouldn't. You should use the clippers, because they are very good. They get things very, very close. But if I was to just push and cut right here like this, it might be okay. But I wanna get the piece as close to touching the mat as I can without bending it too much, and then I can control the cut a lot better. And then always turn your sprue if you need to get a better angle on your cut. Impatience is the ruin of mastery. There we go. Now we'll need to clean up this piece. Let's have a look at it. Look for our manufacturing lines, and there's a bit from the sprue right there. We're just going to be real gentle. Alright, make sure there isn't any more lines. There's a little bit right there on the top. Let's use the finger as a backboard and just very, very gently. Very gently. Doesn't take a ton of force to do any of this stuff. Alright, so those pieces are... looks like they're ready to go on, actually. This is going to be the Gundam's whiskers or eyebrows, depending on how you see it. But it looks like this is going to go on first. Let me see here. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's going to go sit right in here. Oh, no, I have it upside down, don't I? Yeah, I do. Looks like eyebrows. That's some amazing eyebrows. Okay, we have everything cut off. And this needs to go in the forehead. Looks like. There we go. And it's supposed to be like that. I'm seeing a little bit of... I probably haven't pushed it hard enough. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this is impressive. I usually won't even buy snap together models. I don't like snap together models. I always end up gluing them anyway, because so many manufacturers they don't go to the care that these guys have gone to. The quality of the plastic is really amazing. It's very good, almost a softish type of plastic. Oh, I see one little line right here. I want to scrape off this flat surface right here. Not too hard. Tiny manufacturing line. There we go. Good. And I think I'm even going to do, because it's such a pronounced flat surface, I'm going to go ahead and give it a slight sand. There we go. Good. That's a very cool Gundam head there. Very cool. It's awesome. Okay. Now, it's A16. Come on now. Let's see. B. A. Yeah, A16. Let's see, what's a part look like? A16. So this is going to be going right up on top, it looks like, maybe on the forehead. A16. Don't stop doing that. Oh, there it is. So this is a clear part, and some of the clear parts I'm going to want to not put on, because I want them to go on after the painting. So we may skip this part, and we're going to mark it on the instruction sheet. Let me get my markers here. So we're gonna mark this as something that we're gonna go back and do later, because this is a clear plastic piece, and since we're painting the entire model, we could paint over it and then just give it the appearance of being clear later. But I want to make that decision after the fact. I want to make that decision after I have the paint on, because I want to see how it looks unpainted, and then if I don't like it, I'll paint over it, and then I'll use painting tricks to make it look cool. But we'll leave that part. We'll leave that part for later. All right. So we're all done with section 1. We're going to section 2. It looks like we're starting on the body. So, B238. No. B1, B3. A, B. A. What? That's B3. We have C. Potentially right in front of me and can't see it. A, B. What's the part look like? B238. That's B1, B3. What have I done? What have I done? I'm most definitely blind. What is this? Definitely not. I have to be blind. C. That's A. That's so funny. Oh, yeah, I am blind. The 2 turned upside down looked like a 3 to me at a distance. Okay, I'm incredibly clever. So awesome. Okay, B238. B238. 3738. There it is. It looks like we can get it pushed right close down to the mat. The shape of it's not going to matter too much anyway. There we go. Let's see what we got to do on this. So that's a manufacturing line that we can sand off right now. And that's a normal line. And you can actually, if you feel like a line that's supposed to be there isn't deep enough, there's scoring tools that you can buy, or you can just take your razor like I'm doing right now and run it right into the ridge. And we can do a little bit of that later too. There's a painting technique called dry brushing that brings out all those cracks anyway. But we can deepen the lines on that later too. Sometimes that's easier to do when the model's all together, because some of the lines are supposed to run from piece to piece. It's just better to do it then anyway. All right, we've got a definite line angle that we got to keep our scraping in cohesion with. Okay, and there's definitely a line right there. I wonder, it kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. I probably shouldn't be judging it as something that's not supposed to be there, because these guys are clever. Maybe it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to stay. Maybe I shouldn't scrape it off. Yeah, okay. And this is getting a level of shininess that I know I'm not going to want, so I'm going to take some of the shininess off. Again, because we're going to do a complete paint over, we don't want shiny surfaces if we can avoid it. And I'm just going very lightly, very lightly. This is a little bit too rough of a grain for my choosing, but if you go really light, even a coarse sandpaper can just do light work. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to create a surface that's going to just grab that paint. So there's one piece for that. I imagine we're going to be duplicating that. We'll see. We'll see. We're in a new section now. The C23. 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 Bye-bye. Looks like we're starting to get some of our ball joints, some of the more clever parts of the engineering for these models, because they are fully posable when they're done. Now, some people that are doing a complete paint over, that are doing a complete paint job on the finished model and changing the entire color, some people will cut all of the pieces off of the sprue and then paint them individually. I'm not going to do that. Until I'm used to how these Gundam work, I don't want to do things that way. And I may not even do it in the future period, because you can see this ball joint here. If you put a layer of primer or paint over the top of that, it may not function as intended. And I have done so much painting of complete models and miniatures that I'm very comfortable with having something completely assembled and then painting it, because I know how to get the paint into the cracks, and I'm very thorough about getting into any spaces that were missed as part of the spraying of a completed model. So it's fine with me. But some people, and I respect everybody's ways of wanting to do things. I very much respect every artist's preference on how they do things, because somewhere out there is a shotgun surgeon. Somewhere out there is somebody that creates beautiful ice sculptures with a chainsaw. Everybody finds their thing, you know. And there's people with much more experience than me, and are much better than me, that do things differently. I, over all these years, have found the way that I like to do things, and so I do. Okay, we've got some lines that look like I gotta get used to doing the bifocal thing. I'm being an idiot, and I had glasses without bifocals for so long. I'm so used to looking over the top, and it's so much better and clearer if I just remember to use the goddamn bifocal lens. Quit being dumb, Con. Now, since this is a ball joint, I don't want to use the blade too much on it. I want to do some very light sanding. I don't want to reduce the size of the ball joint too much. And this ending bit right here, I can do some of that with razor. And you'll see this line, this manufacturing line, and I'm just scraping very lightly with the flat of the blade to make that surface become flat and get around that manufacturing bit of line there. But I'm going to stay away from that ball joint, because that's important, to leave the size that it is and not alter the size of that ball joint. Don't want to mess with that all too much. Okay, so now that we have those two pieces, it shows us that we need to hold it like that, and the ball joints are facing that way. And we're going to, oh, wait a minute. Oh. There we go, like this. So that armor kind of matches the, there we go, matches the angle of the, just like that. Fits just in there just right. There we go. So that's the first part of the second area done. Set that aside. Now we got big parts. C28. That is a big part. These gray ones are internal parts, more to the interior of the model, and that's very cool of them to do, even if you're doing a complete, or maybe especially because of people like me that are doing a complete paint over. Because the interior is the parts that are going to get missed by the spray. So it's nice that they're already dark. That's the color we want it to be. There we go. See if I'm happy with that. Not really. I'd like to see it a little bit flatter. And then paint and or primer is gonna cover up a lot of the ugliness on some things too. Can't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are the age-old quantifier of our species. It's half of what we've learned our lessons from. Can't be afraid of mistakes. And if you make a mistake with a model, cut something wrong, damage it or whatever, you can get creative. And if you're doing something like a complete paint over like I am, you can turn it into battle damage. You could have an entire part that got messed up, and you could turn that into something that looks like it took battle damage. Get creative with it. Okay, so we've got... I need to get C32 off the sprue. C32. Calling C32. C32, please. This ball joint I'm not going to touch very much because it's actually in good shape just as it is. I'm just going to get a little bit more of that flash off of there. That's about it. It's a good piece. It's really good manufacture. There come a part of this process where I have it all assembled, and I might, ow, the spine is acting up. The part's going to come where people can flip out a little bit if they're Gundam lovers or whatever, because it'll be all put together. It'll look the way it does for the most part on the anime show, and then I'll be completely spraying over it with black primer, turning the whole thing black. That will freak some people out if they don't know what's going on. Okay, I have these parts that need to be put together. Okay, so it needs to face this way, and this needs to go in this, just like that. So this is apparently going to be a rotatable joint right here. The ball just fits right in there. That's damn clever. Yeah, see that? It's a bit like if you know your anatomy, it's like a hinge joint in a way. Okay, and now we've got another ball joint piece. Looks like it's going to be like this, and it's going to go fitting in like this. There we are. And again, another hinge joint. These are just really, really clever models. It's really impressive. Okay, now let's continue on. Section 2. I need A9 and A8. one of the blue bits. A little bit of blue bits. Mr. Condensed Osor, I see we have a rare Tuesday, Wednesday stream. We do. We do. I didn't get to do my Sunday stream because of having to go to bed early for Gen Con, which when I do my my Friday stream, I'm going to talk all about Gen Con. I'll share some pictures, and I've already shared a couple on the Discords. But thanks for coming in, Mr. Cadenso. So you always drop in, and I always appreciate it. And you're my favorite, highly dissipated, thinly pressed, reptilian, historical creature. I want you to know that. A9, A8, A9 and A8. Yeah, I got the camera and the arm and everything. I finally just, it's a tough month to try to afford anything. It was already going to be a short month for lots of reasons, but I had a tiny bit of extra, and I was so tired of putting it off and not doing it, not doing this crafting thing I said I was going to do. That was a mouthful. I did really good on that one, you have to admit. It's getting harder and harder to come up with original expressionate names for you. But by God, I'm determined. But yeah, I've said to all of you followers out there, I have said that I was going to do crafting stream. I was going to make it happen. And I was so tired of things getting put off and put off and put off. And when I tell people I'm going to do something, it's going to happen. And so it did. I told everybody that I would make a community Pal World server. It's live. It's up. It's sitting there for anybody who wants to use it. I've been having fun on it. Game is surprisingly fun. I am surprised. I'm not a Pokemon person. I never did the Pokemon thing. Asa did. I didn't. And I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. But you know me in building. And it's a good builder. And something about it has got me a little bit attached to all the PAL work too. All the PAL gathering. But I'm just desperate to level right now. I just want to get leveled so that I can have better and cooler looking building materials. Building out of basic wood is getting me down a little bit, but I have part of a city built. It's very community minded. All right, we have our 2 new pieces from the A category, and those are going to go in down, turn this way. And I didn't pay attention to which one was A8 and A9, but I can see from the pictures exactly what I need to do. Very good instructions. 1 ball joint in here, and in it goes. Very cool. And then the other ball joint in here, like so. The engineers that created these must have just been pleased as piss when they were done. You know, however pleased piss is. Alright, we got all kinds of worky bits here. We got all kinds of ball joints and stuff going on. This guy's going to be able to do pretty much like ballet posing. I've seen it, believe it. A5, A5, A5. This one looks like it's going to be more than easy to cut off the sprue. It's already a big piece, and it's already a bit easy to stabilize. There we go. I am going to take the flash off of this stuff. There's 1 bit of flash right there. I call it flash. It's probably old terminology. There's probably some other cool new term that modern Gunpla people have made for the extra bits left from the sprue that it came off of. There we go. Now where was the other connecting point? I guess that was it. See if I see any manufacturing lines I want to scrub off of there. I don't see any. Okay, cool. Easy squeezy, making it easy for me. 822. Oh, goodness. I'll go as long as I can, guys. Once the back is done and I start having my weird neurological reaction shit, I will have to call it a night. But for now, I'm doing all right. It's just hurting a bit. The spine was trying to go out like 3 days before I went to Gen Con, and I did surprisingly well in Gen Con. I had to, I had to stop and rest, but we ended up sitting and playing a whole D&D Titan Keep adventure setting. So that was sitting for an hour just playing D&D, and I got to show off my player acting and voice acting chops. One of the few times I actually get to play D&D instead of DM or GM it. And our DM was very cool. And they were able to get another person in to join us for the scenario. She was really cool too. She's kind of jumped in last minute to give us another person. And Sunday's a tough time for those guys because most of them are trying to save money by checking out of their hotel room Sunday and not staying another night. So they have to pack everything up, and then they have to go and function, do their jobs at the convention, and then go to these. They have a bunch of side rooms set aside for these guys to put their luggage in because they know everyone's checking out of their hotels, right? So they come to the convention to do their job, dragging all of their luggage and everything with them, put it in a side room, work all of Sunday, and then grab their luggage and go home. These guys were so tired, it's quite a thing. All right. This doesn't look too shiny, so I'm not going to worry about sanding this piece as a surface because I think it'll paint just fine. Same with this yellow bit. It's not super shiny in my book. And again, we can do more sanding also once the model is completely built. All right, here we go. Looks like this chevron goes right, slots right in just like that. That's great. I'm telling you guys, I have all these decades of being a model builder. I'm very impressed with the precision of these kits. I literally got this kit on sale for $12 and change. I think I have two. I have enough for we're going to stream the building and painting of this one, and then I've already got the second one set aside because there was another one on sale. And it was even less expensive. It was on a really cool mega sale. But I have the luxury as a retired disabled guy. I have the time to really hunt the sales. So a lot of things came together at once. Big sales on a couple of these high quality kits, and I'm going to stick with the 1/144th scale high quality series. I want to do that series because I have a long game plan for when they're all built and painted, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about as we go along. Not only are you gonna get to see the complete repainting of the Gundam once it's built, but there's another step right after that that's also a cool little step. And all of those will be able to be added together for the bigger thing that I have planned. So, my brain has been working on all of these things. Okay, so I need A24 now. A24! A24. Gonna have to flip this upside down again. Sometimes that's what gets it in contact with your mat, so you can support it and cut it just the way that it should be. There we go. Let's get the flash off. That one wasn't as big as I thought it was. There we go. That whole piece flat. Good. This needs just a little bit of cut, and the rest can be flat scrape. Let's get that whole side flat. Perfect. Good. Good. Still needs a little bit off of there. Just a tiny bit. Last bit of flash right here. Good. There we go. There we go. All flat. All flat. Go. All right. Now, it says that this needs to hold the piece like this, and I can't quite tell which piece. Oh, there's a piece that we have to cut still. B237. Is it? No, wait. Yeah, okay. Alright. 237, there it is. God, the way these pieces are formed, it's just gorgeous. It's amazing. Whoever designed the Gundams over time, making them go all the way from the kind of, I don't want to say crude, but the very less complicated Zaku type Gundams, to the super complex and just amazing Gundams that they've created for modern anime and now these models. There we go. Gotta be careful because there's some lines that are supposed to be here, and I don't want to get rid of those. Just being very careful. Now this bit is sort of shiny, and I want to get rid of some of the shininess if I can. Let me see, what do I want to use? I think I'll use we'll try the 1000 grit and see if that does enough shiny removal to make me happy. I think it is. Yeah, this should do it. This should be enough. Again, this is 1000 grit sandpaper, and the reason it works is because we're not sanding hard paint or hard protective coatings. We're sanding an erosive plastic, meaning that it's a material that can be eroded down fairly easy. So it doesn't take a lot of pushing, doesn't take a lot of hard scrubbing. And that even 1000 grit sandpaper can remove the shininess enough that we know that when we paint it, it's going to stick to that piece really nicely. Oh, ouch! Unhappy spine. Okay. So we have that piece, we have this piece, and we have our built piece. So Again, I'm not entirely sure which is supposed to go on first here, but it looks like maybe it won't matter. So we're going to hold it just like that. And this piece goes onto this peg right here. Snaps right in. Good. Slides in, snaps in, however you want to say it. Wow, this is so great how they've figured out how to make everything work. And we're going to take this one, and this one looks like it needs to go like this. Wow, that's great. That is great. Very cool. Really awesome. Okay, and the top piece here needs to go down into where? This needs to go... I wonder if I was supposed to put this in before. I bet this was supposed to go in before. I am not sure. Where do you go? I wonder. I feel like it was supposed to go on before the yellow bit. Let's see. I feel like, yeah. In here, and then this bit over the top of it. Yep. Looks like that's the way it was supposed to go. Or is it? Let's see. Yeah. So I've got to find the right angle. Dope. Maybe. Let's take this part off. That doesn't seem... What am I doing wrong? There we go. Brute force. And then finally, now is that supposed to go under? I feel like that's supposed to go under, maybe. Nope, it fits just right. There we go. Yeah, it's fitting flush. There. So every once in a while, there's one... Oh! That's interesting. 1, 2, and 3. So it was saying that the yellow piece had to go first, but that didn't really seem like it fit all that well. That way, but either way, it's on. And it looks great. The body piece is done. Okay, on to the next. So, to finish out section 2, we've got a little bit more to go. Now, again, we've got some shiny bits, I think. I think we have a 19, and 20. And if I'm right, these are shiny bits, aren't they? They are. So again, we're going to mark that, and we're going to add those later because we're doing a complete paint over, and we don't want to paint over the shiny bits until we see how they look. So that part we're going to flag to go back and do after we've painted. No shiny bits yet. They're transparent plastic pieces, and I want to see how the model looks painted, and I want to see how it looks with the shiny pieces not painted. See if I like it better. We'll find out. Okay, and it looks like the last bit of section 2 is some interesting pieces, and again we've got some transparent pieces, but these might have to be put on. Let's see how it looks. A21 and A23. Let's get those first. A21, A23. Okay, getting the flash off. Oops, I cut a little too deep that time. That may have to be, it's because my back is getting to where I'm gonna have to stop pretty soon. I lose my precision. So I just gotta be a little more careful. There we go. Really cool pieces, man. Oh, ouch. Okay, let's get that. Let's get the flash off of here. Almost cut a bit too deeply again. It's about that time. It's about that time. I used to get upset when the physical stuff started limiting, because I'm enjoying myself. I really love this. And there's a lot of things that start getting cut short when you have health things get in the way. And one of my biggest victories personally is not getting upset, not getting frustrated anymore when the body's saying it's time to stop, even though I'm having fun. Because then you just go find a different fun. You go find something else to do. After this, I may go the recliner and the heating pad and some gaming is probably what's going to happen, or something to watch that's fun. But you just, instead of getting frustrated and upset, just laying down in frustration or whatever, just change gears. You just got to change gears and keep going in another direction. Okay, so we've got, I wonder if these pieces absolutely have to be added right now. They might have to be. F1 and F2. And I think those were in that tiny F1 and F2. Yeah, see, look at these pieces. You don't want to paint over that. Those are too cool, because that's not really a decal. Those are already a pre-painted piece. Those are imprinted. So I don't want to paint over that. I really don't want to paint over that. So we're going to mark that also, and I hope it works okay. I hope it works okay to put those on after. But as we've seen, these models are so well designed that taking them back apart again doesn't seem to be too big of an issue. like I was saying earlier, I don't usually do non-glue or snap together models. I don't because they don't look good enough for me. And it's okay if you're one of those people that just likes to keep it simple like that, and they're good enough for you. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for you. Me, I'm just too picky, and I have to have things a certain way. I usually just won't do snap together, but these are so good. These are so precise. It's so great. Okay. Let me get so those fit into A14. So I could probably add A14 and A15, and that'll be okay, because that's what those transparent parts fit into. A14 and A15. Or can I? Because, no, I can't, because those are also transparent. Yeah, those hold the, see how that works? Those hold the, those cool looking pre-painted bits inside. So we can't really add those right now either, because that would get painted over. So we're going to circle those. And we'll just see about adding those later, and that's fine. It's totally fine. Alright, let's get our chest piece. Oh, I got sneeze. What? What happened? Okay, so I don't exactly remember what was A21 and A23, but we're going to look at the pictures. The pictures tell the story, and that's fine. Let's see, so this is going to be, this goes to, goes inside. How does that work? Aha! There, very good. Such a great model, so great. I'm so impressed. And there you have it. It all just comes together so great. I've never seen a snap together kit ever even come close to this. It's amazing. Fully movable joints still. So great. My gosh. Okay. So that finishes off section 2. Pardon my sniffling too. Allergy Land 9000. Let's try to get through another section before I have to stop. I'm not ready to stop yet. I'll just if I get too unsteady or whatever, I'll just stop a bit early. Okay, so that chest bit is done. Now we're going to do the right arm. I like how they separated out right arm with left arm, even though they're the same. It's better than I get annoyed with model kits that they're like, okay, do this times 2, like on a tank model or something. And yeah, they're the same, but things don't always fit right. You know, sometimes it's way better to separate it out like this and do left side first, right side first, or right side after, because that's a lot of pieces. And if you just say times 2 everything, well, sometimes parts get mixed up. What is this? It's a very long emote, I'm sorry.
Mecha_ had just raided with 1 viewers.
Miss Mecha, I'm so sorry that I didn't see you coming on. I was busy setting up this whole new crafting area. I'm sorry I didn't get to attend the stream. I am. I probably should have waited to start doing my crafting streaming, but everything came together nicely, and I just wanted to start this whole thing tonight. I've been waiting so long to start my crafting streaming, and I finally did it. So this is a bit of an extra one. I decided to go ahead and do it since I missed Sunday. I couldn't do or not Sunday, Saturday. I keep saying Sunday. Sunday I was at Gen Con. I couldn't do my Saturday stream, my cozy stream, because I had to go to Gen Con Sunday. And so because I missed a stream, I thought, you know what, let me just get an extra one in. Let me get another stream in. I thank you for the raid. Thank you for coming in. And I hope that your stream was super awesome, meta wholesome good. I always enjoy your streams because they're relaxing and you have one of those voices that just brings about the joy. So thank you for raiding. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. We're doing my back only lasts so long using this workbench and the mechanics bar stool that I'm on, and so I'm approaching end of stream, but I want to do one more section because I'm absolutely in love with this, and these Gundam kits are amazing. So again, thank you for sliding in on a stream. All right, here we go. Section 3, the right arm. Since you just got here, Miss Mecca, here's what's been built so far. And these kits are incredible. I've been telling everybody I don't usually do snap together kits because of how badly they can turn out. These are so well engineered that they're just incredible. You don't need to glue them. All the spaces that are there are supposed to be there. And they have fully functioning joints despite it all, and when you're done you can fully pose the Gundam. But we're doing the COM mod. Once it's fully assembled, it will look like it does on the box, but that's not what we're going to end with. When it's fully assembled, I'm doing a complete paint over, and I will, at the time, when that time comes, I'll explain what the new paint job is going to be like. I have to have my own creative spin on everything that I make. I can't just duplicate other people's work. I have to have my own creativity thrown in. So this Gundam will be getting completely repainted to a color that I think is going to look really cool on a Gundam. I gotta have my twist on it. It's gotta happen. All right, B1, B2. All right, so let's do B17 and B18. B. That's A. Why am I looking at A? And pardon my sniffling. Stupid local pollens and everything. Holy shit. B2. Got it. Yeah, and it's actually going to be in a whole line of Gundam that when they're repainted, there will be well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it'll be a very appropriate paint job, and two factions in a skirmish. So B1, B2, B17 and B18. B17, and I'm still learning my bifocals. Instead of looking over the top of my glasses all the time, I'm slowly retraining myself to use the fucking bifocal lens like I'm supposed to. Oh, I'm actually in the wrong sprue. Being an idiot. As my back gets progressively worse, you'll see me make more mistakes. That's normal. B17, B18, B17, B18. So we have duplicate parts. Oh, I see. B17 and B18. Okay, so that's clever. That's clever. Good. That's an improvement on how to make parts on a sprue. B17 and B18. Here we go. Good. And good. And let's get the flash off. When I was watching videos on especially these lines of Gundam, because of how far I like to go with detail, I was watching some creators, and it's fine if this is what they like to do. I'm not making fun of them. I'm not. But when you're used to going like to a certain level, I was watching people just snip them off the sprue and throw them together. They didn't take any of these manufacturing marks off. They didn't take any of that stuff off, and I was like, oh, God, just sand it off real quick, cut it. God, get it. But they just like to keep it simple, and that's fine. That's fine. It's still building. It's still making. I'm just being a weirdo because that's how I am. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Here we go. They go in very simply together like that. And it looks like, yeah, those will seal together on a joint later. Okay. B229 and B19. B229. Where is it? Where is it? B229. Check on chat. Heck yeah, you can make it unique in your style. You bet. Absolutely. Every time. I'll be back momentarily since I require foods, but I shall lurk for now. Got this. I'm trying. I want to try to get this arm done before I stop, but my back is starting to make my nerves go weird wonky, so. Okay. There's that. And I need. So I need B19. Yeah. B19. B19. B1569. There we are. And these are duplicate parts, so just cut off whichever one. When we do the other arm, it'll just be a repeat of all this process. Go. 9, and that's going to go over the top of these. That's cool. B229 is going to go like this. Or is it? I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. And then B19 needs to go on here. Just like that. And we have a shoulder, apparently. I believe that's a shoulder. Awesome. Awesome. Pardon the sniffling. And again, there's some places here where stickers go on. We're gonna wait to put stickers on because we're doing a paint. Let's mark it. Ouch. Okay. So the flow goes like this. Down to here, let's do C5 and C8. Calling C5 and C8, C5 and C8. There we go. go. So C5 and C8. Alright, let's get the flash off. Just a tiny bit on the ball joint right there. Good. Oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. Flat. And flash here. There we go. Okay, and those go together already. So we've got this. Oh, there's a little bit of something stuck right there. Get that out of there. There we go. Okay. Now, see, we've got this, and this goes inside C5 right here. There we go. We've got another hinge joint. Oh goodness. Ouch. All right. So B121. Let's find B121. 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 21. Oh, there we go. Okay. Cool. Alright. B121, B120. Excuse me. B120, B120. Okay, so pretty much the same part. Let's make sure to get the flash off. Needs it. There we go. Okay, and then we need C9 and C3. C3. C9. Yep, on the right sprue. C9 and C3. Oh, ouch. All right. we've got a flash cut off. Go. Alright. And this one. Great pieces. Got some manufacturing lines we need to scrape off real quick. I am getting less steady, unfortunately. Very few manufacturing lines to have to deal with, just really great molds. Very good is das gut. Das gut. Okay. So these pieces all need to come together. So we're gonna hold this like this, and then this is gonna go like this. Oh, no, this one goes here. So that goes in like that. This goes... Oh, shit. This goes in like this. And this goes over the top of that. Look at that. How cool is that? Just amazing. So great. Okay. Alright. B117. B117. I want to make sure that these are flat sides and angles because they're going to be fairly visible. There we go. Oh, man. Okay, so there's that. B115. B115. I shouldn't have gone this long. Okay, there's that. 15. So where's my part? Here we go. So this facing that way. This goes in here. Way cool. And this goes right down here to finish off the arm. Wow, that's cool. That's so cool. Alright, so now we have this big part here, and this shoulder joint here, and it needs to fit right into these, which it does perfectly. Wow, so great. And then we've got the shoulder facing this way, upper arm facing this way, and this goes down in here like that. Wow. And let's get B16 and B111 real quick. Pardon my sniffling, I'm so sorry. B16. Just a tiny bit of flash on this one, really. There. And C11. C11. Let's get all the flash off. Go. And we're going to put the wait. There we go. Way cool. And then that goes into the arm. So we have a fully functioning wrist, elbow, rotating shoulder, hinge joint. There we are. What an impressive model. So great. I am... I need to stop. And quite a bit done. We've got upper torso, right arm, and head finished. And completely enjoyable. Let me switch over to my just chatting screen. Right. Fun. That's what we're supposed to be having, right? I am so happy that I've finally gotten to do the crafting streams that I wanted to do, and that I finally have it facilitated. And I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight. I know no one was expecting a stream from me. It's not one of my normal days. But I hope that whether you're watching now or in the future, you enjoyed the beginning of this Gunpla model. And again, this is the, let me get the box. This is the Gundam Aerial. And this is from the HG, the high quality, the high grade series of models. Very, very impressed so far. Very much enjoying it. And I can't wait till it's all assembled so that I can completely paint over it and then show you exactly what I have planned for the paint job to change it from what it looked like in the anime to what it's going to look like when I'm done with it. But thank you everybody for coming in, and hang tight. I really need to go. I'm in quite a bit of pain, but I will send you off to somebody cool. So stand by. I'm going to raid fling you at someone.